Thanks for staying with us. So, to continue the topic on saying no to domestic violence, this time we'll be looking at it from the perspective of the popular line, for better, for worse, or not. And where do we draw the line? So we'll be having two guests today on the show. First is a gospel artist who is willing to share her story, Diekololami. Good morning. Welcome to the show. She's an award-winning gospel artist. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm with you.
Great to have you.
Can you hear me?
So I saw your comments on Instagram yesterday, and I reached out to you that would you be willing to share your story? And you said you were. And when this Osinachi thing happened, everybody, obviously, more brave women were coming out to share their own experiences because they realized that what they did to survive that ordeal could help others in future. And so I'm happy that you chose to come forward. Could you, in a nutshell, tell us what happened in your own situation, how the church, what role the church played, and how you were able to come out?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for what you do and all you do, and thank you for being a voice in these times. God bless you so much. Okay, so my story was very similar, actually, because I went into the marriage as a church member and a church worker, in fact, an ordained minister in church, okay? And of course, nothing prepared me for what I met. I found out that, okay, he wanted to control everything. He wanted to control which meeting I go. He wanted to have a full control onto the kind of songs that I sing. Okay, so there was one of those trips that we made to the UK, and I said, I feel like the Holy Spirit wants me to sing this song. And it was like, if you don't sing this other song, then you're going to see hell. And that's just one of the many, instances. I don't even know where to start.
Right.
But I could really relate with that.
Right.
Because at that time, I followed the Holy Spirit, that I feel I was led to sing that song, and I was in trouble for weeks because I did that, and I didn't do what he wanted me to do.
Let me throw a few more questions in for you. Yeah.
In all honesty, our pastors at the time, they did a lot. And I really want to give kudos to them because they had sleepless nights, several counseling sessions with us and all that. But there's just this thing about once someone is an adult and is formed in his ways, this is a dysfunction that cannot be controlled.
Fixed.
You understand? They did everything, I believe, within their power. But when you have a grown man who does not answer to anyone, who doesn't fear anyone, who does what he wills and what he likes, and he feels that nobody can call him to question on it, that's what happens. Okay, so we finish counseling, we finish, our pastor steps in. Most of the time I just call him because he was my spiritual father, and I'm like, this is what your son has done again, blah, blah, blah. They will invite us to their house over dinner, they did a lot, but it just didn't work.
Okay, so let me ask you, Dieko, at what point did you get to that breaking point and you decided, what led you to that breaking point where you decided this was enough? I'm not going to take this anymore.
Right. Okay, so I just knew that I had prayed. I had done everything in my power to do. I had, there's this thing about, trying to dim your light just so because someone is uncomfortable with how much you shine or how bright you shine.
Not marry our enemies.
I remember having a ministration. We had like a conference, 3 days conference, our church conference, and the last day of that conference, I was supposed to minister. I had ministered first day, second day, and then the third day and the last day of that conference, I ministered and I greeted everybody. I greeted him alone. And I got into trouble when we got home because I didn't greet him last. And he said I didn't honor him. If I didn't kneel down or names or call him king and all those things, I was going to be in trouble. He said, I'm quoting him, he said, you shamed me today by not greeting me. And I'm like, I greeted you yesterday. I greeted you today. I mean, I just felt like just going straight to my administration. And it was trouble. I remembered him telling me, my breaking point was when he told me, see, I'm a control freak. If I am not in charge, I'm not going to support you. And he told me it's either I'm Lord of all or Lord of none.
Wow.
And for me, that word was it. And I'm like, this guy is not going to change.
I'm going to be Lord of the Flies.
Okay, Dieko, please, could you...
There was a time I was pregnant with that.
Let me pause you for a second because I want to throw a few more questions in.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in another segment. Go ahead.
Dieko, in your story, you mentioned I got into trouble. I hope you don't mind if you could tell us what sort of trouble. Was he physically abusive? And if he was the pastors that you say help, did they see the evidence on your body? And when you said they tried their best, what do you mean? Did they try their best in helping him to stop hitting you, or try their best in telling you to make a better decision for yourself while being married to someone who was physically abusing you?
Okay, so the first time he hit me, like beating me blue-black, like, punches and, like that. That was the very first time. And I was, initially, before then, I think I had it like a teeth bite. I was telling him, I said, stop doing this. I was pointing at him. We had an argument and all that. And before I knew what was happening, he beat
your finger.
My finger.
Hi.
He had the scar. Yeah.
Okay, so...
and so, when I went into battery, that was when I left. And I left to my brother's house, who also lived in Lagos at the time. And, the families came together, even our pastors, they tried to mediate between the two families that, okay, he's not going to do that again. In fact, my pastor vouched for him, In the middle of all that, in fact, many things happened that, I might not...
all right. I don't want to push you to give out too much, because I understand how personal this could be. Let me talk about our final question, and then we'll wrap up with you because I don't want to stay on this conversation too long. Go ahead, Tokwe.
Okay, so you're sorry about the experience, and I'm happy that you had the strength to step out and the support to step out. Whenever we hear these stories, people talk about, did you not see the signs? Did he not show you? Before marriage, it could be like this. Did you not explain? Did you not sense it could be a control freak? Did you not, there's that guilt feeling like you should have seen something. And Mariah was giving the example of, okay, maybe he was a very good man, something that happened. In your own case, what was the signal? And did you ignore the signal? And what would be the lesson you want people to see and note from your experience?
Okay, this is what I will say to that. There is no signal that is signal enough for you to know that you're going into a relationship or a marriage that you're going to end up being killed, or you're going to end up being battered, or you're going to end up being injured. Of course, we had disagreements, but he never lifted his hand. Like every couple, or while we're dating, he never, showed such extreme.
Right.
Okay, so nobody will sign up for, okay, this is what you're going. If he had done that, definitely, nobody in their right senses should go into such relationship. Right. I mean, it's not, this is what I would just say. Personally, I believe that if you can date for 20 years. The day you marry the person is when you truly know who you married.
True. I agree. God help us.
That is my own opinion and my own conclusion.
All right, Dieko, let me leave it there. Let me, because as I said, these are personal issues, and I don't want you to. You're obviously a known person, and I'm trying to really manage the information you put out there. But let me pause you at this point. I mean, I think we've got to be able to get the meat from your own experience. And I'll probably let you go at this moment because I need to bring in somebody who's an expert in this area to help talk to us and how we can deal with this kind of issues going forward. Thank you so much, Dieko, for sharing your experience this morning. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we bring in Praise Forward. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.